In today's arena, the Spartans take on the Bears. Only one can remain victorious. Find out who today on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids, brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Thank you so much, everybody. We have a terrific crowd here today, and two great teams are back. Let me introduce them to you now. First, we have the Menlo Atherton Bears. And their opponents today are the Mountain View Spartans. Their scores are on there from their last games, 540 for MA, 550 for Mountain View. We're going to wipe that clean and start all over. And first, we're going to interview the Menlo Atherton team and say hi to Koji Kameda. Koji, you had a very successful day yesterday with CCS Wrestling.
Yeah, I took 5th at the CCS Championships yesterday.
Was it a good season for the team this year?
It's pretty good. Our team took, we went 7-0 in league, undefeated league champions, and then had about 4 guys qualify for the section tournament, and 2 of us placed. One of us is going to state, so pretty good season.
Wonderful, and congratulations on your personal victory. Kurt Kessler, you had a nice weekend last weekend.
We went to Hawaii.
Just for fun?
Yeah.
5 days?
Yeah.
Sunshine? Mm-hmm. Although
it's kind of rainy, but...
Good.
Yeah.
Good, because I was here and it was freezing, and you got a little rain in Hawaii, so I feel better now. But you had a good time?
Yeah, it was fun.
Excellent. Nikhil Viswanathan, you are starting a squash team or a squash club at school.
Yeah, my friends and I started a squash club at my high school, and we play at Stanford every Sunday at 2 p.m. And recently we had our, actually, I think it's the Bay Area's first ever high school squash match.
Wow,
against,
in one sentence, what is squash so that us American viewers?
Basically, there's an enclosed court, there's walls on all sides, and you can hit the ball off any wall, and it really has to just touch the front wall eventually. And it's just a really, it takes a lot of agility. And
fast-paced,
exactly,
dangerous,
yeah.
Exciting. Well, good. I hope you have a good time. You guys want to earn some points? I will ask you a series of 7 10-point questions. Give me the right answers to all those questions, and you will get a 30-point bonus for a total of 100. All you have to do is pick your category. Today's categories are Some Like It Hot, Aye Aye, and The Fur Trade.
Aye aye.
Aye aye, all right. Name these things having to do with the eyes. It's an MD who specializes in the eyes.
Optometrist?
I'm going to have to ask, no, I'm sorry, that person works on corrective lenses, but an ophthalmologist is the MD who works on the eyes. Polyphemus was a member of this race of one-eyed giants.
Cyclops?
Correct. It covers the lens and is a part of the eye that can be transplanted.
Is it the cornea?
Best guess.
The cornea?
Correct. It transmits visual information from the eye to the brain.
Optic nerve.
Optic nerve?
Correct. Ben Franklin is credited with creating these lenses handy for presbyopes.
Bifocals.
Bifocals?
Correct. It's the symbol at the top of the pyramid on the Great Seal of the United States, which you find on a $1 bill.
Great eye, I don't know. What else could it be called?
It's not the pyramid, but it's like, I guess.
The great eye?
It's the all-seeing eye. And finally, it's the name of the giant Ferris wheel found along the Thames.
The London eye?
You got it for 50 points. Congratulations. We'll be back to meet the Spartans after these messages. Welcome back. Let's say hello to the Mountain View Spartans and Matt Salinero. Matt, today is your 18th birthday.
Yes.
Congratulations. What is the first 18-year-old thing you want to do?
I don't know. I'm just going to...
I think you're supposed to say vote or behave responsibly.
I want to vote
You want
in
to
the
vote?
elections.
Good. Coming up in June. Good luck to you. Make wise choices. Josh Cohen, was it over this last winter break? You went to Israel and Jordan.
Yeah, it was interesting, Jordan especially, because I'd never been there and it's not a place many people get to go to, but it's really fascinating. I guess not now, but Back in December, it was fascinating before the protests.
And was there just a vacation or a purpose?
It was my cousin's bar mitzvah in Israel, and then we went to Jordan because we couldn't go to London due to snow, so we went there instead.
Wonderful. Good trip. Zach Blumenstein, you went to Fresno.
Huge sightseeing trip in Fresno. No, it was, I was there for music. I got selected via audition tape to play in the California All-State.
Wow.
One of the all-state bands.
And was that a successful trip?
Oh, it was an amazing weekend of rehearsing and then a concert.
See, and when you're playing music, even Fresno seems like Israel. It's true. Well, good for you. Let's give you a chance to earn some points now. Pick a category, gentlemen. Will it be Some Like It Hot or the fur trade?
We're going fur trading.
Fur trading. Well, you're going to name these things that begin with F-E-R. The letters F-E-R. Here you go. In the children's story, he's the bull who doesn't want to fight. He just wants to stop and smell the flowers.
Ferdinand.
Right. His last theorem remained unproven for centuries.
Fermat. Fermat.
Yes, Fermat. Okay. It's the conversion of carbohydrates into alcohols or acids.
Fermentation. Fermentation.
Correct. It's the Italian brand of fast and flashy sports car.
Ferrari.
Yes, we all want one. She's the vocalist for the Black Eyed Peas.
Fergie.
You got it. He was the Italian-American physicist who led the team that created the first man-made nuclear chain reaction.
Fermi.
Enrico Fermi. And finally, in music, this symbol over a note means to hold it for longer than its stated duration.
Fermata.
You got that, and you got the bonus, 100 points. Good for you. We'll be right back for the three-for-all. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's give a big hand to the coaches for both these teams. First from Menlo Atherton, Miss Sue Caton. And from Mountain View, Mr. George St. Clair. Thank you, coaches. All right, gentlemen, the buzzers are in your hands. It's time for the three-for-all. I will ask a 10-point toss-up question. The person who answers that correctly will, their team will have control for that round and have a chance to double or triple their score. So here's the first toss-up. Here we go. What is the large unit of measurement defined as the distance traveled by electromagnetic radiation in 12 months? Matt?
Light year.
Correct. For 20 points. An astronomical unit is defined as the average distance between what two bodies?
Earth and the sun.
Earth and the sun.
Correct. For 40 points. How many minutes does it take for light to travel one astronomical unit?
8.
You got 40 points. One of the mottos of this Tudor monarch was, "I see and say nothing." During whose reign was Mary, Queen of Scots, beheaded? Josh.
Elizabeth.
I need more?
The first.
Beth. For 20 points, Mary, Queen of Scots is often confused with her cousin, Mary I of England, who earned what nickname for authorizing over 300 executions during her reign? Right, for 40 points, Mary I was the first child of which first wife of Henry VIII?
And was it Catherine? Wasn't it Catherine? Catherine of Aragon.
You got it for 40 points. Next, we shall fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean is part of what American military song? The Marines' hymn. The Stanford Binet is a classic IQ test. On an IQ test, what number represents the average score? Zach.
100.
Yes. For 20, what is the meaning of the abbreviation IQ?
Intelligence quotient.
Intelligence quotient.
Yes. And for 40, the denominator in the IQ formula is the chronological age. What do psychologists call the numerator?
Aptitude. Aptitude.
The mental age. Next toss-up. Billy Clanton and the McClaury brothers wound up on the wrong side of the gunfight at what famous corral? Josh.
OK Corral.
Right. The OK Corral was located in what grimly named Arizona town?
Tombstone.
Right. For 40, what dentist joined the Earps in the gunfight?
Doc Holliday.
You got 40 points. A light bulb's tungsten filament doesn't burn up because the what gas responsible for combustion has been removed from the bulb? Zach.
Oxygen.
Yes. Most incandescent bulbs are filled with what noble gas? You can talk it over.
Argon. Argon.
Yes. For 40, strobe lights and flash tubes are filled with what heavier noble gas?
No.
I need it.
Xenon?
That is right for 40 points. After Lewis and Clark reached the source of the Missouri River, they crossed the Continental Divide and reached the Pacific Ocean at the mouth of what river? Zach.
Columbia.
Yes, for 20. Name the president who sent Lewis and Clark on their way with the goal
Jefferson.
of... Yes, and just like John Cabot in 1497, Lewis and Clark were two more explorers looking for what fabled route to link it...
Northwest Passage.
You got it. 40 points. We think of him more as a painter and sculptor than an architect, but who designed the dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome? Zach.
Michelangelo.
You got it. Michelangelo is really famous for his frescoes in what Vatican building that's the site of papal conclaves?
Sistine Chapel.
For 40, the word conclave comes from the Latin for what device? Because the cardinals were once locked inside the chapel until they elected a pope.
Key? No. Key?
Yes, for 40 points. Tiny Delaware is known as the blue hen state. The red, a type of chicken, is the state bird of what even smaller state? Josh.
Rhode Island.
What state bird of Connecticut, Michigan, and Wisconsin is considered a sure sign of spring?
The robin.
Yes, for 40. What bright red finch is the state bird of 7 different states, the most of any bird?
Red-winged blackbird.
The cardinal.
Oh.
What word, synonymous with boredom, identifies a calm area where winds of the northern and southern hemispheres, yes, Zach.
The doldrums.
Yes, although the doldrums are calm areas, what Atlantic storms that can reach Category 5 usually originate in these regions?
Hurricanes.
Yes, and for 40, in the Northwest Pacific, similar storms are known by what other name?
Typhoon? No, Northwest Pacific. Typhoon.
That's right, for 40 points. We'll be right back after these messages. Free-for-all. Here's your next toss-up. In 1986, it was viewed for the first time in 74 years. Josh.
Halley's Comet?
No. Name the ship found underwater 500 miles south of Newfoundland.
Titanic?
Yes, for 20. Name the oceanographer who led the expeditions to find the Titanic.
Ballard?
That's correct. For 40 points. In 2002, Ballard found the wreck of PT-109, last commanded in 1943 by what future president?
Kennedy?
That's correct for 40 points. The shortest wavelengths of visible light are violet. What color are the longest wavelengths of visible light? Zach.
Red.
In light, as in all electromagnetic radiation, the wavelength is inversely proportional to what other measurement?
Frequency. Frequency.
And for 40 points, what is the SI unit of frequency?
Hertz.
You got 40 points. He receives credit for using integration to find the area under a curve. Who first represented that in Yes, Koji.
Riemann.
Say again?
Riemann.
No. In Principia Mathematica.
Newton.
Yes, for 20. Newton held the title of Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at what prestigious English university?
Cambridge.
Correct. For 40, in 2009, Michael Green succeeded what world-renowned theoretical physicist to become the 18th Lucasian Professor?
Do you know any?
First name.
We don't know.
It was Stephen Hawking. This giant crack in the Earth is a result of plate tectonics. What 3,700... Yes, Koji.
San Andreas Fault.
No. What 3,700-mile-long geographic feature in Africa is partially filled by Lake Tanganyika?
Great Rift.
I need more.
Great Rift Valley.
That's right. The northern end of the Great Rift Valley is located in the BAQK Valley in what Middle Eastern nation?
You don't know. Egypt? I don't know. Egypt?
No, Lebanon.
Oh.
Who was the first European to lead a voyage around the tip of South America? Josh?
Magellan?
Correct. What is the name for the tip of South America?
Cape Horn.
And for 40, the Horn of Africa doesn't refer to its southernmost part, but rather an area in the east that includes what war-torn country?
Somalia.
Correct for 40 points. To a football fan, it's hallowed ground. Who plays their home games at Lambeau Field? Josh.
Green Bay Packers.
What's the tasty name given to Packers fans?
Cheeseheads.
In the 2011 Super Bowl, which Packer was named the Super Bowl MVP?
Aaron Rodgers.
Correct for 40 points. Despite the cartoon, penguins are not native to what fourth largest yes, Kurt?
Madagascar?
Right. For 20, the island of Madagascar is separated from the African mainland by what channel named for the country on the other side of the channel?
A channel of Mozambique?
Correct. Madagascar is one of the world's largest producers of what spice made from a tree bark and used to flavor red-hot candies?
Vanilla?
No, cinnamon. Found in a Shakespeare play, what two-word term refers to lovers astrologically doomed to unhappiness? Zach.
Star-crossed.
Right. Who were the star-crossed lovers of Verona?
Romeo and Juliet.
The characters of Romeo and Juliet were inspired by Pyramus and Thisbe, star-crossed lovers whose tales appear in what ancient Roman poet's epic poem Metamorphosis?
Could be Ovid, it could be...
Virgil.
Ovid. The men who kidnapped his son in 1932 hoped for ransom. Yes, Kurt.
Lindbergh?
That's right. Name the German immigrant convicted in the kidnapping and death of the Lindbergh baby.
Say something. Smith.
It was Bruno Hauptmann. What religious leadership position is currently held by Britain's Rowan Williams? Josh.
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Thomas Cranmer was the first Protestant Archbishop of Canterbury, named to that post by which king?
Henry VIII.
Yes. Cranmer was best known for compiling what Anglican liturgical manual that's still in use to this day?
I don't know. The Bible. It's not
It's the Book of Common Prayer. Convicted of corrupting the youth of Athens in 399 BC, what philosopher and teacher of Plato was Yes, Josh.
Socrates.
Although the dialogues of Plato provide much of what we know about Socrates, details about him appear in The Clouds by what comic playwright?
Pericles.
No, Aristophanes. That's the end of the round. 120 for MA, 630 for Mountain Dew. Can MA catch up? We'll find out when we get back.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
All right, we're back, and we have one more round to go. Let's see if MA can catch up here. The point value is 30. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Good luck, gentlemen. Of all the Canadian provinces, alphabetically, the last is Saskatchewan. Which one is alphabetically first, Josh?
Alberta.
Right. Bellerophon wrote it when he slew the chimera.
Pegasus.
Yes. Their energy is proportional to their frequency. What do we call the particles of light? Koji.
Photons.
Yes. Most of his novels were first published as weekly serials. What Victorian author wrote a fictional... Zach.
Dickens.
Right. He only made 4 movies and died young, but if he were around today, he'd be 80 years old. Name the star of Rebel Without a Cause. Yes, Josh.
James Dean.
Right. Surprisingly, Palladius, not Patrick, was the first Catholic bishop sent to what island? Kurt.
Ireland?
Right. What Hawaiian staple is a paste made from cooked taro? Zach.
I don't know.
Okay, you can steal.
Poi?
Poi is right. What author of 5 of the Federalist Papers became the first Chief Justice of the... Yes, Kurt.
John Jay?
Correct. What is the square root of 3,600? Kurt.
60.
Yes. What mountain system would you be visiting if you were seeing the Matterhorn and the Jungfrau? Kurt.
The Alps?
Right. What style of window covering is named after an Italian port city? Matt.
Venetian blinds.
Right. In what European city was the Cordon Bleu School of Cooking founded? Kurt.
Paris.
Right. Chicago's Robie House is the work of what architect known for his prairie style? Josh.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Right. How many tones are there in a pentatonic scale? Zach.
5.
Right. What country completely surrounds the Republic of San Marino? Josh.
Italy.
Yes. With what direction would you associate the star Polaris? Josh.
North.
Correct. What simplest platonic solid has 4 points, 6 edges, and 4 sides? Zach.
Tetrahedron.
Correct. Although he was ineligible to be president, who appears on the front of an American Yes Act?
Hamilton.
Right. What is a patient losing if he is suffering from alopecia? Yes Act.
Hair.
Right. How many companies are there in the Standard & Poor's stock index? It's Kurt.
500.
Right. Civil War Union General Daniel Butterfield composed what final military bugle call?
Is it
Matt.
taps?
Correct. What letter would you associate with the vertical axis in a graph of the male? Yes, Koji.
Y.
That is right. The victim of assassination, which former Prime Minister of Pakistan was the first woman to lead? Yes, Josh.
Benazir Bhutto.
Correct. Amalgams are metal alloys that contain what element, sometimes called quick? Yes, Nikhil.
Mercury.
Right. A 1911 novel by Gaston Leroux is the basis for what musical set in and under a Paris theater? Josh.
American in Paris.
No, you can steal.
Don't know.
Phantom of the Opera. In the abbreviated name of the Monopoly Railroad, what do the letters B and O stand for? Josh.
Baltimore and Oriental.
No, you can steal.
Don't know.
Baltimore and Ohio. Which part of the Freudian psyche is focused upon immediate self-gratification? Zach.
The id.
Correct. What term for an impossible situation comes from the title of a Joseph Heller novel? Nikhil.
Catch-22.
Okay, that is the end of the round. You got that right. Look at the score. 450 for 480 for Menlo Atherton, 1,080 for Mountain View.
Go to quizkids.tv to meet our teams, learn more about the questions on today's show, and to get tickets to see the show in person.
I may be wrong, but I think this is the highest single game score ever in our history. Let's look at your scores with 1,080 added to their previous score. Mountain View has 1,630, and Menlo Atherton adds 40 to their previous score for a total of 1,020. Will they make it to the Elite Eight? We'll find out in a few weeks, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
The following underwriters helped to make this program possible. The San Mateo Credit Union. Additional support provided by the Burlingame Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the Knights Templar.